Hi guys, I'm Mike and this is F1 Fanatics. Welcome back to another F1 Weekly News Show where we round up all the latest news in the world of F1 this week. And so this week we have a few stories to cover, mainly covering Ferrari and McLaren in terms of team based, and then a couple things in terms of regard to tyres and the 2021 rules themselves. So we will start off with the first story of the day, and that is that the teams have unanimously rejected the Pirelli 2020 tyres. So yes, Pirelli were disappointed with this, and Ross Brawn himself was actually disappointed, and he was hoping that they would take the 2020 tyres. Either the 2020 tyres are worse than the 2019 tyres. I've also I think suggested on Twitter and stuff that even if the 2020 tyres were better or even slightly better, the teams would probably more favourably go for the 2019 tyres, as there hasn't really been, there isn't been any major rules and regulation changes, so they have a whole year's worth of data that they've collected and a better understanding of the 2019 tyre. You only have to look at this season when Ferrari were happier with the performance of the 2018 Pirelli tyre, and they were trying to get that kind of reinstated halfway through the season. So yeah, they have the data. I feel like that would be the main reason behind it, with the Pirelli tyres probably not being exceptionally better than what has actually happened. Second one is in relation to the 2021 rules, and obviously Patrick Head, famous car designer within Formula 1, obviously having that very prosperous relationship between him and Frank Williams back obviously in the late 1970s all the way through into the 90s, I believe, was when they finally kind of properly parted ways. But yes, Patrick Head has said that the rules are aggressive and have engineering restrictions, but they are a necessary evil in terms of getting an equality of spending between teams, because he admits himself that the way that it's been going, obviously with Ferrari and Mercedes almost like egging each other on each season and spending more and more extortionate amounts within the sport, they kind of needed to be saved from themselves, I believe is what Ross Brawn said when in the official announcement of the 2021 rules. So yes, Patrick Head is obviously, as an engineer himself, would be like, I'm a little bit gutted because there's more restrictions, but obviously it reduces spending, and it is, like he said, a necessary evil to kind of stop that inequality. Now we move on to McLaren and their kind of behind the scenes, their improvement of development side continues to kind of have a reshuffle. As part of their aero reshuffle this time, Cattelani, who's been with the team since 2014, I believe he was also within Renault before, and he's basically been within motorsport a long time. But yes, McLaren and him are deciding to part ways. I believe he's currently on gardening leave, and it is kind of being discussed because rumours is that Haas are interested in him coming on and joining their aero team. So a job still for him. I'm not sure if an official announcement has been made on who will replace him at McLaren, but obviously they continue to reshuffle, develop and push forward in their pursuit in terms of getting back to the top of Formula 1. Also with McLaren, they have their next-gen simulators that they're hopefully going to be using in 2020 that, are really kind of state-of-the-art, and again, really helping them to improve in terms of simulation driving, especially with less on-track testing, has become so important. So if you have a really top simulator, then obviously that's going to be really important for your progression as a team. So McLaren really investing in their kind of pursuit. Like I said, with the other one in their aero reshuffle, they really want to get back to the top, and it would be great to see a team like McLaren back challenging at the top for race wins in Grand Prix. Now we move on to Ferrari, and Ferrari are the first team to officially announce their official 2020 car reveal, and that will be on February the 11th. So you've got the first date, especially for you Ferrari fans, to kind of put in your 2020 F1 calendar, if you hadn't already put all the races in there, for when you're going to see a first glimpse of what the 2020 Ferrari will look like. No surprises what I think the main colour might be, which is red, and I assume it will be something similar to this season, with black being obviously a main feature of the car as well. It'd be interesting to see whether they stick with the matte paint. Obviously that was a weight reduction thing, trying to gain an advantage there, which obviously Red Bull have been employing for a while, or whether they return to that gloss finish that they had been having before this season. But now we move on to the last story, and probably the main story in terms of how Ferrari might compete, and see how this kind of works out. Matteo Binotto was explaining that they are going to make extensive changes to the engine that will hopefully give them significant improvements. He says that they've gained a lot of data and it shows there's still a lot of room for improvement, and yes, the engine is one they are mainly going to be looking into. They are also, no surprises here, with a car that suffered on the majority of tracks because it didn't have enough downforce. They are certainly going for a higher downforce build for the Ferrari in the 2020 season, because yeah, the low drag setup clearly didn't work too well for them this year. Yes, they may have got second in the constructors, yes, drivers fourth and fifth in the Drivers' Championship, but realistically they never challenged Mercedes across the course of the season, and neither did their top drivers consistently. So they needed to obviously make a change to this. But there you go, guys. There is a roundup of the weekly news show, and there won't be a weekly news show next week because it will be the last day of what we are excited to announce. If you hadn't seen the tweet earlier today, that we will be doing a F1 29 quiz, almost like a Christmas quiz, getting other fellow YouTubers together. So obviously we will be starring in that. The F1 debate show will be starring in that. Chazza HD, Aldas, Raz on F1, and obviously Mark, who's appeared on the channel before, will be a part of that as well. Really looking forward to it, really excited. We filmed that on Sunday, and then it will be out. Each round is going to be 5 rounds, will be out every day next week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So there's some fantastic, hopefully, Christmas content for you, and we will make it interactive. There'll be points where you can be involved and answer the questions as well, and let us know in the comments whether you're doing well on that. But that's a bit of channel news to finish off with there. But guys, if you've liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below on what you think on the news story, on the kind of new direction Ferrari are going. Are you impressed with the type of changes that McLaren are making? What do you make of the teams unanimously rejecting the 2020 tyres? Yeah, would love to hear from you guys in the comments below. If you are new around here, don't forget you can subscribe to the channel, click that bell notification, and you can keep up to date with all our latest content just like this one. But for now, you F1 fans, keep racing!